Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and do I have a special episode for you today. With all the Black Ops 3 hype, I figured it's only fitting to recall on the memories of past maps and make a top 5 best maps video. So thanks for tuning in, and without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off the video at the number 5 spot, I chose Call of the Dead. It's a rather low spot for such a popular map, but here's why. This map is very well designed, and original, and fun. No one can forget the intro cutscene, which is rather funny and badass. But the reason I drop it in at number 5 is because I hardly played zombies around its peak in Black Ops 1, and this still made it on my list. Problems I see with this map are the watery areas, but they're there for a good reason, and the map is rather large, and you tend to stick to only like 1 or 2 areas. The fog was no one's favorite thing, and of course George fucking Romero. The number 4 spot has gotta go to Kino Der Toten. It's quite a popular map in the zombies community as well, and it's quite a fun one if I do say so myself. Very strategically placed by Treyarch as the first map in Black Ops 1 because the concept was rather simple and linear but very entertaining for new players to explore, and with good new ideas for seasoned veterans to enjoy. The only problem I see with Kino are the Nova crawlers, which is alright, you'll get over it. Nonetheless, we are introduced to the Thunder Gun, and that makes it all worth it. Plus the Pack-a-Punch makes its second return in this map as it was such a selling point in Der Toten, and the wonderful, almost too easy training area, which is the stage. Moving on to number 3, we've got Der Toten. I wasn't a huge fan of the Black Ops 1 maps in their primes, but I've learned to appreciate them with a little more time. But when I didn't care enough to give them the chance they deserved, I would always go back to Der Toten. But who didn't? Der Toten has got to be the number 1 spot without a doubt for me, but that's because I'm definitely hung up on some nostalgia, but I didn't want that to be the deciding factor in the list. But honestly, anyone that was around when this map came out knows the feeling. And that's why I think Black Ops 3, the giant map, is so real with the hype right now. Hit the thumbs up if you definitely agree with me. You enter this map with the characters you know and love, Dempsey, Nikolai, Takeo, and of course Dr. Edward Richthofen. You get a brand new wonder weapon, the Wonder Waff. We got the monkey grenades that's definitely saved your ass a billion times over. And the teleporters were a new concept. And of course, the very first time the Pack-a-Punch makes its appearance. Hell yes, Treyarch, you did it right with this one. I've got a half chub right now just thinking about it. Alright, gotta calm down. Time to move on. The runner-up at the number 2 spot is Mob of the Dead. This map was sort of a relief in Black Ops 2 with the collection of other maps that were so complex and big, and there was Transit. Yeah. Anyway, I feel Mob of the Dead was Treyarch saying, hey, take a break, you earned it, and sorry about Transit, but we're still not holding anything back. Mob of the Dead can be simple or complex depending on your playstyle. Most maps can be this way, but this one seemed to fit the card just right. You can go balls deep with the Easter egg and do all the extra stuff, and you were definitely rewarded. There was a cool Pack-a-Punch area on the bridge, and one of the most badass weapons of all time, the Blundergat shotgun, and even additional upgrade to that, the Acid Gat. Along with that, you can earn the Hell's Retriever, which was totally cool because it was the first time we got tomahawks in zombies, and who wasn't waiting for that moment. And just the overall Easter egg was a fun time. But if that wasn't your thing, you could just jump into a game of Mob of the Dead and never stop killing zombies without mercy. There were plenty of training areas, and getting set up wasn't that hard. And if you want to upgrade, it wasn't too difficult to get all the plane parts. Just run around the map a few times, you'll figure it out. Also, the map introduces the Tommy Gun and Electric Cherry for the first time, which is one of my favorite perks, and who doesn't love a new perk anyway? Before I get into the probably very obvious number 1 spot, I had to throw in some honorable mentions, because there's just so many zombie maps, and I can't say any of them are terrible. Alright, first one I want to point out is Dead Ops Arcade from Black Ops 1. This was the only map that wasn't the normal FPS style. It was more of the arcade style game, looking straight down on top of the player with increasing difficulty of waves, different areas, and it was loads of fun with your friends. Second one I want to point out is Buried. Not a lot of people seem to like Buried as much as most maps, but I really like it. It's rather easy compared to most maps, but it's definitely fun with a buddy or two. Fall Trade makes its first and only appearance, and I love getting more than just 4 perks in zombies, and this map makes it pretty easy with the bitches. The witches. They're not the greatest, but free perks are fun. Last but not least, the third honorable mention I want to point out is Nocturne Toten, the very first zombies map ever. I started with this map and many of us did, and it definitely deserves an honorable mention. It's not too hard with a few good training areas, but it isn't real easy with the lack of the Pack-a-Punch, and there's no perks whatsoever. Nocturne Toten was the perfect way to start the masterpiece that is zombies today. Ladies and gentlemen, we made it. The number 1 spot. goes to Origins. Alright, I get it. It's pretty anticlimactic, and it's pretty much the basic white girl of all top 5 lists. But I work at Starbucks, so at least I have an excuse. But for real, in all honesty, this map is wonderful in a lot of aspects of what Zombies is and has become over the years. First of all, it looks magnificent. We got a new World War I setting with the steam or diesel punk feel, with the dirty colors that you would expect from a Zombies map. Plenty of bright colors and accents to make it a sight for sore eyes if you've ever played Transit. Second, we get younger versions of the original 4 characters that never seem to get old. And along with them, we get some wonderful weapons. The MP40 makes a comeback, the STG-44 is another favorite, although it's rather inconvenient to buy off the wall. And we're also introduced with a new weapon called the MG08, which is a beautiful machine gun for mowing down the hordes. And of course there's the staffs, but if you aren't into that sort of thing, you can definitely survive without them. The only problem I have with Origins is that it's rather difficult to get used to, and there's so much to do that if you aren't at best a good Zombies player, you can't do much without it taking a fuckload of time, or you're gonna die trying. And then there's the Panzer Zombie, which is kinda just a pain in the ass, but I don't despise him like George Romero. Let's not forget about the Wonder Fizz machine. It's kind of a neat idea, but it's not exactly amazing tactically, as with the weapon box, it's based on an RNG, and ain't nobody got time for that. That's going to bring an end to that, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for sticking through that painfully basic top 5 map list, and don't forget to tongue that subscribe button and fist the thumbs up. Oh, yeah, I'll see you next time.